Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope you are fine. Actually, I was thinking of postponing today's live session, but in the end, I have been able to start the live session on time. I was cycling. I was cycling for about 1 hour, and I have started cycling once again uh, because I actually have got high blood pressure, and that's why I decided to do cycling for 1 hour each and every day. So if I can do that, I guess I will be able to get rid of my blood pressure. So I will advise each and everyone to have some exercise, especially if you can do cycling each and every day. That would be a added advantage for your health. You'll be able to keep your body fit, and your muscles will always remain fit, and you'll feel like you're flying. Your body weight also will be able to loosen up. I mean, you will be able to get rid of your body weight as well. So if you want to lose body weight, if you want to get rid of high blood pressure, you can start cycling right like me. I have started cycling once again, and I hope that I'll get rid of my blood pressure as early as possible. So anyway, today I'm back live once again after a 1 week gap, and today's live session will be conducted on a particular topic of linguistics, especially social linguistics actually. I'm going to discuss about nativization, denativization, Pidginization, and Creolization and Fossilization. I repeat, nativization, denativization, fossilization, Pidginization, and Creolization. These actually are the topics for today's discussion. I'm not going to discuss on a particular topic, rather there are so many topics, but the topics are actually short. You have to understand these terms. These are very important terms. If you are studying social linguistics, definitely you will come across these terms, social linguistic terms, and you will have to have clear knowledge of all these terms. Number one, let us talk about nativization. Well, nativization, Roger Anderson talks about nativization. I repeat, Roger Anderson, he actually invented a theory of second language acquisition. There he talked about nativization, denativization, Pidginization, and Creolization, all these terms. So what is nativization? Nativization actually is using target language under the influence of your own native language. I repeat, nativization is using target language under the influence of native language. When a speaker or a learner starts using a target language or a second language, first of all, he assumes the target language would be like his own mother tongue. He feels like the target language is quite similar to his own mother tongue, and he starts using the second language or the target language under the influence of his own mother tongue. That is known as nativization. Suppose if I talk about the Arabian people, they actually cannot pronounce ta sound because there is no ta sound in Arabic alphabet. They cannot pronounce trouble, they pronounce trouble. So in case of pronunciation, they are applying their mother language influence. I mean, they are applying the influence of their mother tongue. In case of pronunciation, they are pronouncing tongue, not tongue, because there is no ta sound in Arabic language or in Arabic alphabet. Instead, they have ta sound. That is why they pronounce tongue. They cannot pronounce tongue. So under the influence of their own native language, they are actually pronouncing the ta sound, and it is pronounced as ta, trouble, not trouble. So this is how they pronounce the word trouble. They pronounce trouble instead of trouble. Here they are applying their own native language influence over the target language. So this is known as nativization. And even if I say that in case of our language, mother language, Bangla, in case of our language, subject verb plus object, this structure is not followed. But in case of English, this structure is followed. Subject plus verb plus object. But in case of Bangla language, what we see that object comes before verb. Ami bhat khai. But if you translate it in English, under the influence of your own mother language, it would be I rice it. But it is actually wrong. English language doesn't actually follow the structure of Bangla. It has its own syntactic order or syntactic structure. But if you apply your own mother language influence over the target language, then what will happen? First of all, you will feel like the target language structure also is like our mother tongue's structure, and you will pronounce like, or you will utter like, I rice it, not I eat rice. So in that case, it is also one kind of nativization, because you are applying your own mother language influence over the target language structure. So this is also known as nativization. So nativization is using target language under the influence of your own native language. When a learner starts using a second language, initially he commits this kind of mistakes. He starts using the target language under the influence of his own mother language, and thereby he commits many mistakes, and these are known as nativization. So what is denativization? When the target language learner actually becomes well skilled in using the language, when he becomes advanced user, then he gradually overcomes the influence of his native language over the target language. This is known as denativization. That means getting rid of the influence of native language over the target language. Getting rid of the influence of native language over the target language is known as denativization. As I have given you an example, that I rice it, first of all he is using I rice it because he actually has no knowledge of the target language structure previously, and he is assuming that the target language structure will also be like his own mother language, and he is uttering I rice it, not I eat rice, because in case of Bangla language, object comes before verb. So he is actually using his own native language structure. He is applying his own native language structure on the target language structure. But gradually, when he becomes a competent user, he will get to know that English language structure is completely different. Then he will be able to get rid of or overcome the limitations of the target language that he has, and he will be able to overcome the influence of his native language over the target language. This is known as denativization. Nativization is using the target language under the influence of mother tongue, and denativization is overcoming the influence of mother language over the target language. I hope you understand. Now let us talk about fossilization. What is fossilization? Well, fossilization is quite similar to nativization, but it is actually different. Fossilization is using target language structure under the influence of native language structure. That means fossilization is one kind of nativization where a target language learner uses the structure of target language under the influence of his own mother tongue. That means this is one kind of nativization in terms of grammar or structure or syntax. Just as I have given you an example that I rice it, this is one kind of fossilization. When a learner applies his own mother language structure over the target language, that is known as fossilization. So I hope you understand that every fossilization is nativization, but not every nativization is fossilization. I repeat, every fossilization is nativization, but all nativization cannot be considered as fossilization. Only the influence of native language structure over the target language is known as fossilization. I hope you understand. Now let us talk about Pidginization and Creolization. Well, in one of my lectures, one of my live sessions, I have talked about Pidgin and Creole. so I'll have to repeat those. Pidginization. What is Pidginization? Actually, Pidgin is one kind of contact language. Pidgin is nobody's mother language. It is only used for business communication or business purpose, and it has no recognizable grammar. I repeat, Pidgin has got some basic characteristics. Number one is it is nobody's mother language. It is a contract language. It is only used for business communication. And number four, it has no recognizable grammar. These are the four basic characteristics of Pidgin. So now let me clarify what Pidgin is. Suppose one group's language is L1 and the other group's language is L2. L1 doesn't know L2's language, L2 doesn't know L1's language. Now how will they communicate? How the communication will take place? Then what they will create? They will create a third language, taking elements from both L1 and L2. They will create a third language, and that third language is nobody's mother language, neither of L1, neither of L2. They are just using the third language L3 between themselves for business purpose. And it is a contract language, it is a deviated form of language, it has no recognizable grammar. So this is L3, this L3 is known as Pidgin. I am actually clarifying it once again. I am giving you some other example to clarify the meaning. Suppose the Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama, he came to Bangla in our land for the first time. I repeat, Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama, he came to Bangla or Bangladesh for business purpose with his companions. So how the communication took place within ourselves? How did he communicate with us and his companion communicated with us? How the communication actually took place? Because neither we knew their language nor they knew our language. So how the communication took place? The communication took place, as I have already told you, they created a third language. Taking elements from both Bangla and Portuguese, they created a third language. And that is nobody's mother language. That is only used between these two groups, this Bangladeshi people or Bengali people and the Portuguese people. They are using this L3 between themselves for business purpose. And this L3 has no recognizable grammar. It is a deviated form of language, as I have already told you. So the Portuguese people who came to our land used a third language for communication, and they actually communicated with us in Pidgin, that third language that I have already talked about, that L3, which is known as Pidgin. And this process of creating a Pidgin or using a Pidgin is known as Pidginization. So Pidginization actually occurs when two groups actually use a common language between themselves for communication, for business communication, which is nobody's mother language and which doesn't have any recognizable grammar. So this is known as Pidgin. Now let us talk about Creole. What is Creole actually? When a Pidgin becomes mother language of a particular community, then that will be known as Creole. I repeat, when Pidgin becomes mother language of a particular group or community, that is known as Creole. Creole actually has got recognizable grammar and it is definitely used as a mother language of a particular community or group. Suppose the Portuguese people started living in our country generation after generation, who came to our land and who started their business in our country, who started using Pidgin for communication, and they actually started living in our country for a long period of time, and they started using the Pidgin for a long time, and generation after generation they kept on using the Pidgin. So at one stage that Pidgin might turn out to be the mother language of a particular community. So when Pidgin becomes the mother language of a particular community, that process is known as Creolization, and that language, when Pidgin becomes the mother language of a particular group, that language is called Creole, and this process is called Creolization. Creole definitely has got a recognizable grammar and it is used as a mother language of a particular community. But the possibility of Pidgin becoming a Creole is very rare. The percentage is very low, but only 1% percentage is also a possibility. I repeat, only 1% possibility is also a possibility. So if there is 1% possibility, that can happen. So as I have told you that when Pidgin becomes mother language of a particular community, that particular language is known as Creole, and the process is known as Creolization. And there are several examples of Pidgin becoming Creole. So this is what Pidgin and Creole is all about. Pidginization and Creolization is all about. I hope you understand. You know, in the island of Mauritius and Haiti, the language that they use, that is actually Creole. I repeat, people from the island Mauritius and Haiti, they use Creole for communication. That means at a time they were using Pidgin, and that Pidgin in course of time turned out to be the Creole of that particular community. This is what Pidgin and Creole are all about. So today I have discussed about Shaheen. Thank you for joining. Shaheen is one of my students from European University of Bangladesh. He's a fan of mine, and I really appreciate his joining in my live session. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for keeping this page live and exclusive, because this page is for all of you. If you join these live sessions, I'll be really very much grateful, and I'll be really happy. I welcome you all to join my live sessions as much as you can. So your joining, your participation is my inspiration. Thank you very much, Shaheen, once again for joining the live session. So today I have discussed about nativization, denativization, fossilization, pidginization, and creolization. These were the topics for today's discussion, and these are actually the terms of some of the important terms of social linguistics. So students who study linguistics, I hope they will be benefited out of this live session. And those who have joined, I have already seen one of my students, Shaheen, has joined. Thank you, Shaheen, once again for joining my live session tonight. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining the live session. It's good night from here. I will come back with another new topic, and till then it's goodbye from here. Good night. And before I leave, I will give you an advice. Each and every day try to do some exercise, keep your body fit, and cycling, as I have told you, cycling, swimming, these are very good exercises for health. So if you can do cycling for 1 hour each and every day, you don't need any other exercise. Or if you can swim, swimming is the best exercise, is the best of all exercise, because all your body parts are moving while you are swimming. So swimming is the best aerobic exercise, but if you can do cycling, that is also good for health. So do not forget to take exercise. Taking exercise on a regular basis is very good for health. It is mandatory to keep your body and mind fit. Thank you. It's good night. Take care.